Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about gerunds and infinitives. We will be discussing vocabulary, making sentences, and talking some grammar theory. If you guys have questions about anything we go over in class today, or you want to suggest a topic for a future class, you can message me on Facebook, and I'm going to put my Facebook name in the chat box for you. You can also check out my profile where you can message me or book a private session. I'm going to have difficulty pronouncing your name, but I think Hajnalka?
Yeah, sorry, Hajnalka is my wife's name. My name is Kornel from Hungary.
Ah, did you say corner?
Yeah, Kornel. Yeah, it is a bit strange. Yeah, Kornel.
It's okay with me. Cornea?
Yes,
Okay.
it's
All right.
perfect.
Thanks. So, welcome to class. Where are you from?
From Hungary, Europe, Central Europe.
Very cool.
Do you have any information about Hungary?
Not much. Can you inform me a little?
Yeah, Hungary is located in Central Europe. It is a quite small country. Yeah. Hungary neighbors states are Slovakia, Ukraine, Romania, former Yugoslavian states, and Austria.
Very cool. I've heard of some good movies that came from Hungary.
Um,
There are a lot of cinema.
yeah, yeah. I can tell you a famous person who is Puskás.
And what film has this person made?
Film.
Is he a
Do you know
director?
Andrew Vajna? Do you know Andrew Vajna?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He is born in Hungary.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He produced the Terminator one, Terminator 2, I think.
Wow. Very interesting. I love the Terminators.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're talking about gerunds and infinitives. What do you know about this topic already?
It will be a good repeat for me because I have a B2 exam for English. Yeah.
Do you have an exam for English?
Yeah. Yeah. Business English. Yeah.
Well, good luck. Tell us a little bit about what you already know about gerunds and infinitives. Do you know what they are? Gerunds
Uh,
and infinitives?
yeah. Could you please repeat your question and could you please tell me more details
Sure.
uh,
So,
about topics?
right, we're talking about gerunds and infinitives. What do
Yeah.
you already know? What can you tell us? Are they nouns? Are they adjectives? Are they verbs?
Yeah, like love, something like that. Plus, after these words, we can use ing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. That would be a gerund. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Cornea.
Yeah.
And Marco, welcome to class.
Thank you.
So, Marco, can you tell us what you know about gerunds and infinitives?
Just the last part of verbs in high kanji, and
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly the base form of the verbs.
Mm-hmm.
And about gerund, not too much.
Yep. Excellent. So we know a little bit about the topic already, but I'm going to send you guys some notes and screen share the ones I have on my computer as well. So I'm going to put a link in the chat box if you guys want to open this on your own computer, but you're also welcome to share along with me. So here we go. We're going to read a little bit about gerunds and infinitives and specifically how we're going to be using them in class today. And then we're going to get into some action and make sentences and look at vocabulary. So to start off, let's have Cornea read this highlighted section.
Yeah. Can I read, please?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah. Gerunds and Infinitives are forms of verbs that act like nouns. They can follow adjectives and other verbs. Gerunds can also follow prepositions. Gerund, often known as an ing verb, is a noun formed from verb by adding ing. Not all verbs formed with ing are gerunds. An infinitive is to plus the verb. When a verb follows a verb, it either takes the gerund or infinitive form. Some verbs can take either the gerund or the infinitive with no loss of meaning. For example,
Thank you very much.
yeah,
Hold
okay.
on. We're going to pause there for a second.
Yeah.
Because I just want to summarize that today we're going to be talking about sentences where we use two verbs. One main verb, and then we follow that main verb by another verb. And we're going to see some examples of that here. And this time I'm going to ask Marco to read.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, with the verb start, it started to rain or it started raining, both sentences have the same meaning. Sometimes the use of the gerund or infinitive changes the meaning of the sentence. For example, with the verb remember, I remembered to do my homework, or I remember to doing my homework.
Thank you very much. So the first example is super fun and easy because it doesn't matter. You can say to rain or raining and there's no change. The problem comes in when we have verbs where the meaning does change. And those sentences on the second example are different, very different in meaning. So let's find out a little more about what changes there. And Marco, you can continue reading here for us.
In the first sentence, to do my homework, the person speaking remembered they had some homework first and then carried out the action and did it. In the second sentence, I remember during my homework, the person speaking carried out the action, their homework first and then remember doing it.
Thank you very much. Okay. So it changes the focus of the sentence, basically. And in this case, it changes the order of the actions. So the first one, you remember, and then you do it. And in the second one, you do it, and then you remember it. All right. Other verbs can only take one or the other form. So unfortunately, there's no rule which form the verbs take. And the same is true when verbs follows an adjective. So today we're going to do a little practice deciding which verbs are followed by a gerund and which are followed by an infinitive. We have three categories here. We have one category of verbs that doesn't matter. You can follow it by a gerund or an infinitive, no difference. One category that can be followed by a gerund or an infinitive, but there's a big difference in meaning. And another category where they can only be followed by one or the other, not both. Okay. So we're going to start slowly talking about verbs that are normally followed by the gerund form. Do you guys have any questions before we go over this?
No.
Are
Awesome.
they for all tense? Like I can use for present, past with
Yep, for
gerund?
all tenses.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yep. Okay. So these are verbs that are normally followed by the gerund or the ing form, and I'm going to ask Cornea to read this section.
Yeah. Verbs that are normally followed by the gerund form. First one is acknowledge, admit, adore, uh, anticipate, appreciate, avoid, celebrate, confess, contemplate, delay, deny, describe, detest, discuss, dislike, dread, endure, enjoy, fancy, finish, imagine, involve, keep, justify, mention, mind, miss, omit, postpone, practice, wait, require, recommend, regret, report, resent, resume, risk, suggest, tolerate, understand.
Thank you. Daniel, welcome to class.
Hello, teacher.
Good to have you with us. Do you have any questions? I think you've already covered this topic once before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a lot of information. You're just coming in for a review. Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about these verbs. Do you guys have vocabulary questions about these verbs?
Acknowledge it.
All right.
What it means?
Can anyone help us there?
Which
Does
one?
anyone know the word acknowledge, the very first word in the list? This one here. Does anyone know the definition for acknowledge?
I know knowledge, but
I know that, yeah, the same, the word knowledge, but
Acknowledge is a synonym to recognize. So I might say something like, I acknowledge that he helped me, but I still don't like him. Saying like, I recognize that he helped me, but I still don't like him. All right.
all right.
Any other vocabulary questions from this list so far?
Right?
Endure.
This one?
Before enjoy, and endure, what does it mean? ENDURE, what does it mean? What does endure mean? Before enjoy.
Excellent question. Anyone know the word endure already?
No.
This one is kind of like to survive or get through something difficult. So I endured a very long lecture about the physics of space. I was bored and it was difficult, but I got through it. I survived. So I endured means I went through a difficult experience.
It belongs to physically sports event or something like that.
Yes, many times we do use it to talk about sports. So we have some sports that are called endurance sports, and they're very difficult, physically strenuous sports.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any other vocabulary questions?
Omit.
Omit. Does anyone know that verb already? The word omit?
Don't do something.
What?
Forget.
Don't do something.
Yeah, to forget something or not to do something.
Or skip.
To skip something. So I might omit to tell my friend that I hate her dress, right? So I don't really like her dress, but I don't want to tell her, so I'm going to skip that part. I'm going to omit that fact. Okay. Let's get started on a couple sentences so that we can all get on the same page as far as what I'm looking for sentences today. I'm going to assign you each a verb, and your job will be to use this verb after another verb. So follow the examples that we saw on the first page. Like this one here, it started to rain. We have the verb start and then the verb raining, right? And these ones are followed by gerunds. So all of these verbs I give you are going to end up being in the gerund form, and they're coming after another verb. And Ken, welcome to class.
Yes, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Ready to practice with us?
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah.
Awesome. Then Ken, write a sentence in the chat box using the verb endure after another verb.
Endure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Daniel, your verb is going to be detest.
Okay.
Cornea, your verb is
Yeah.
contemplate.
Sorry, could you please repeat it?
Yep, your verb is contemplate.
Yeah,
This
okay,
one here.
complete. Yeah. No,
All
last one
right.
is in the first line.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And Marco, your verb is adore. Adore.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So, when you guys are ready, put your sentences in the chat box and we'll talk about them. Excellent sentence, Daniel. I usually detest doing the dishes. That's perfect. Agree. I also detest doing the
I
dishes.
always.
So who does them in your house?
I have a wash machine.
Oh, excellent. I need one too.
My best friend.
Yeah, how could you live without it?
When I move to another house, the first thing I take is the wash machine. Then my wife. I'm joking.
That's pretty funny. If anyone is still making a sentence, Daniel's sentence is a great example for you. All right. Someone is contemplating in the square. Okay. Good sentence. We have an interesting formation here. We have the verb to be plus contemplating in the ing. What determines this ing is the verb that comes first. So in order to make a good example for this verb, we should come up with a verb to come after contemplating. Like, someone contemplates walking in the square.
Yeah, it could be.
Somebody contemplates walking in the square. Awesome sentence. Thanks, Cornea. And the sentence from Marco is great as well. I really adore eating cakes. Me too, Marco. I'm with you. Okay. Anna, tell me more about the problem you're having. And hello to you, Anna, as well. And our last sentence here, participants endured swimming in 12 hours endurance swimming race. Wow. Okay. Great sentence, but we need a article here. So in a 12-hour
Yeah. In, yeah. Mhm.
in a 12-hour endurance swimming race. Awesome. Yeah, tongue twister. Exactly. All right. So let's move on. We're getting back to those in a bit to do more examples. But now that we all have the hang of it, we're going to read about verbs that are normally followed by the infinitive form. This time we're going to read all of these verbs. Ken, go ahead and read those for us.
Okay. Afford, agree, appear, orange, ask, attempt, care, choose, claim, come, consent, dare, decide, demand, deserve, determine, elect, endeavor, expect, fail, get, guarantee, hate, help, hesitate, hope, hurry, incline, intend, learn, long, manage, mean, need, offer, plan, prepare, pretend, promise, refuse, resolve, say, seem, tend, threaten, want, wish.
Excellent job. One minor pronunciation note. This word here is endeavor with an E sound.
Endeavor.
Yeah, endeavor.
Endeavor.
Exactly. Exactly. Great. All right. Do you guys have some quick vocabulary questions before we start making sentences?
Endeavor.
Endeavor. All right.
Endeavor.
Anyone know the definition already?
It's a space shuttle, isn't it? I hope.
It is similar to effort.
Afford?
Yeah, it is similar to effort in the
It's a little bit similar, but it's also a bit different. Can anyone give us more information on that verb?
Kind of making effort to achieve something.
Yes, making effort to attempt. Maybe another good synonym would be try. And it usually talks about goals, like I endeavor to learn 10 new words of English every day. So that's my goal. I'm trying to do that. I endeavor.
There's
Any
a
other
name. There's a name of a rocket. Endeavor, maybe,
It
or
could
a
be.
NASA
That would,
mission.
yeah.
Space
that would
shuttle.
make sense. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Any other vocabulary questions from this section? And then let's get to it. We're going to do one more sentence in the chat box. This time, Marco, I'm going to give you appear. Cornea,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to use endeavor.
Mhm.
Daniel, deserve. And Ken, dare.
Okay.
And they're all going to be followed by two infinitive verbs. Awesome, we have one already. The bad boy deserved to write 1,000 times, I'll never break the glass window. Perfect sentence, Daniel. Great example for everyone else. Okay, and the next one. I endeavor to learn English as soon as possible. Wonderful goal, Cornea. Thank you. And the one from Marco, she appeared to cry for her situation. Good sentence, but instead of for, it might be better to use about. She appeared to cry about her situation.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the last one, dare I say it? How dare you? Okay. This is a pretty interesting one. So great use of the verb dare, but it doesn't actually have a to infinitive there.
Yeah, yeah, no, to there.
All right, so excellent sentence, but how could we change that so that it includes a to infinitive?
I dare to say it. How dare you?
Yes, exactly. I dare to say it. Sure. Thank you very much, Ken.
And may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. My American friend said dare to use maybe some kind of negative sense. How dare you? You did this kind of bad thing.
Yeah.
So they are always commit such kind of negative action.
Not exactly. So it has to do with bravery, kind of. So if you say like, how dare you, it's kind of, you're saying that that person shouldn't have done it. But if you say something like, I dare to dream, or do you dare to dream or something like that. You're saying, are you brave enough to dream or to have goals? So you could use it in a positive way as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
And we have one more sentence in the chat box. I hesitate to join this class. Excellent use of the verb hesitate. Thank you very much, Tian. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple more sentences. This time I'm going to choose a verb at random from one category or the other. And you guys will have to decide if it should be followed by a gerund or if it should be followed by an infinitive, and write a sentence in the chat box. Any questions before we begin that?
No.
Awesome. Then, Ken, I'm going to give you the verb risk. Daniel, hurry. Cornea, threaten. And Marco, regret. All right, Daniel, I like your sentence, but it's a little bit awkward because hurry is actually in the to infinitive category.
Okay.
So all you have to do is rewrite it with the to infinitive instead of the doing. Next one. Russia is threatening Ukraine with their army. Interesting sentence. It's a good sentence. It works well, but we have to follow that verb by another verb. So we could change it to be a little more accurate for this exercise by saying, Russia threatens to defeat Ukraine with their army. Threatens to defeat.
Yeah, it is true grammatically, but it is not true in real life.
Okay. Thanks, Cornea. Great sentence. And wonderful correction, Daniel. Thanks. I regret doing these kinds of actions for stupid reasons. Okay, if you want to make all of them plural, that's awesome. Just make sure you put an S on kinds. I regret doing these kinds of actions for stupid reasons. Perfect. Thanks so much. Just one more sentence, and then we'll do one more round of this. Excellent. He risks to something. I'm a little confused. He risks to HSI? Would you like to clarify that, Ken? What's your sentence mean?
Also, yeah, his typo. His risk management.
So wait, read the sentence for us how it's meant to be.
Should I read?
Yeah.
Okay. He risked to his risk management strategy for breaking through.
Interesting. So we have a couple issues here. The first one is that we can't use the the pronoun his in the middle of our infinitive verb. To risk, since it's an infinitive, they always have to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
And the other issue here is that his, I'm a little confused because it's a verb, not an object. You could say his risk, but only if we were using risk as a noun. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let's use a different verb. Instead of saying he risks to risk, let's use a different verb there. He risks to.
He risked to abandon.
Okay, perfect. He risks to abandon his management strategy for breaking
Yeah.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Great sentence, Ken. Thanks. We're going to do one more round of this before we move on to a couple other categories that we have to look at today. And Marco, your next sentence is with the verb tolerate. Cornea, yours is going to be how about
Easier.
intend?
Intend, okay.
Daniel, postpone.
Okay.
And Ken, imagine.
Okay.
You're always so fast, Daniel. You're quick. All right, you always postpone to ask me for married. I think you're afraid. Ooh, this is a dramatic one. So you always postpone to ask me, how about to ask me if I'm married? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Or ask me to get married?
Ask me for.
Like, are you talking about when someone proposes, like, will you marry me type?
Uh, I I the girlfriend, and I
Mm-hmm.
say to the boyfriend, you always postpone to ask me for marriage.
Got it. So yeah, in that case, we would say to get married. You always postpone
Ah,
to ask me to get married.
okay, okay.
So did you look at which category that verb postpone was in?
Ah, sorry. Yeah, yeah. To asking me for get married.
Yes, without the to. So better
Sorry.
would be you always postpone asking me to get married. I think you're afraid.
The only
Thanks,
way
Daniel.
to do it right is to memorize it. I think no.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's hard to
Okay,
tell
okay.
unless you've heard the verb many times or memorized it.
I
All
I
right.
think that for a English speaker, it will sound badly to
Yeah,
her. For example,
exactly.
avoid
Yeah. If
is
you
a
hear it enough times, it really sinks in.
okay, okay.
Okay, next sentence. I intend to look for a better job than the current one. So you're missing an article there. You need an article before the current job. But other than that, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks,
okay.
Cornea.
Yeah.
And Tian, I'm sorry, did not mean to forget you. Make a sentence using the verb miss. And anyone out there, if we have watchers who want to make a sentence, use the verb consent or deny. Both of those would be good. Okay? Next sentence we have from Ken. Imagine stopping wars in the world. Excellent sentence. It reminds me of that song by John Lennon.
Yeah,
Imagine all
inspired by
the
yes,
people.
yeah, inspired by that song.
Thanks, Ken. Great sentence.
Thank you.
And the last one, they tolerate assessing his different exams for the new course. All right. So you mean the students or the teachers? Who are they?
Yeah, the teachers. The teacher
Got it.
for
Yeah,
the
it's a lot
students.
of work to assess exams, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, great sentence. Thank you very much. Okay. Any other questions on these before we move on? Cool. So the next category we talked a little bit about already, and it's a super great category. This group it's a group of verbs that it doesn't matter. So the first two groups we saw, you have to use one or the other. You cannot exchange. But this group, it doesn't matter. You can use one or the other, and it doesn't make a difference. We're going to make a quick sentence using these verbs just so you guys can get a little practice and remember them a little better. Can make a sentence with hate, Daniel, prefer, Cornea, try, and Marco, neglect.
Sorry, Michaela, I'm back. Can you tell me what I have to do?
Sure, Marco, your verb is neglect. You're going to write a sentence
Neglect.
using the
Okay.
verb neglect.
For both sense.
All right. You can use one or the other, or write both if you like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right, let's read some of the ones that are already done. They prefer eating inside because of the bad weather. Excellent. And saying the opposite, they prefer to eat inside, would be the same. Thanks, Daniel.
You're welcome.
I try to understand employment situation. Okay, so we need an article here. I try to understand the unemployment situation is a perfect sentence, and using the opposite, saying I try understanding the unemployment situation is also appropriate. Thank you very much, Cornea.
Yeah.
I hate to see prejudices in the world. Perfect sentence. We could also say, I hate seeing prejudices in the world. And if anyone out in the audience wants to try a sentence with these, use the verb love. We'll get romantic. You guys are welcome to put those in the chat box for us. All right, any questions on these? Cool. Then we're going to go on to the last question.
Sorry. Talking about, sorry, I mistyped. Talking about this sentence, maybe it's kind of irregular, but nowadays is it a bit common because of the commercial?
Oh, yes, exactly. You've pinned it. So sometimes, of course, you might hear one or the other, and it might not be correct, but it's possible to be used kind of in an informal way, I guess. And this sentence, I'm loving it, is interesting because usually we consider love a stative verb. If you guys have not gone over stative and active verbs, stative and dynamic verbs, dynamic verbs are things where you can totally see action happening, like jump and sing and run and want even. Well, it kind of depends on that one. But then we also have stative verbs where you don't say anything, like have. I have a mug. I'm not really touching it. I don't need to do anything. It's just something that is a state, that I have it. And love is considered one of those verbs.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I'm loving it is not a correct sentence,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been used as kind of this slang, informal slogan for McDonald's, and now it's kind of drifted into everyday speech. So we're kind of seeing the English language change because of a slogan that became popular.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up, Ken.
You're welcome.
And the next sentence we have, I love to enjoy free time with my friends. Me too, Daniel. And this sentence would be the same if you wrote, I love enjoying free time with my friends. Excellent. Okay, on to the last category of verbs, the most difficult category of verbs. This one is where they change in meaning. So the good thing about this is that the group is small. We just have 3 verbs here: forget, remember, and stop. But the bad news is it can be very complex to understand the difference between the two. We saw one example in the beginning with remember, and we have another example down here. Daniel, will you read this for us, the example?
Yes. I forgot to feed the cat. The cat is hungry. He has not been fed. I forgot feeding the cat. The cat is okay. I fed him and then forgot about it.
Yep. Any questions on that example about how we can see what the difference is?
It's hard for me to understand.
Maybe
Yes.
second sentence, this person forget the action of feeding cat. And first sentence, this person forget feeding cat.
Right, exactly. So in the second one, we're talking about the action of. The first one, we forgot to do it. We forgot to feed him. But in the second one, we forgot the action of feeding him. So we did the action, and then later we forgot about it. We're going to start slow, and I'd like you guys to come up with your own sentences using the verb forget. So this time you're going to write 2 sentences in the chat box, and we're going to talk about how they're different using the verb forget. For this one, we're all going to start with the same one, so we get plenty of practice with it. Okay, first example. She forgot to kiss me when she left. So since we're talking in the past, that last verb has to be left. And she forgot kissing me every day. So do you think you could explain to us what the difference is between
No.
those sentences?
No. No. The second,
Okay.
the second phrase, I don't understand the meaning.
Okay, so to make this a little simpler, let's make the sentences exactly the same except for that one verb. So we'll use she forgot to kiss me when she left, and she forgot kissing me when she left. And we'll throw out that everyday part. We'll just leave that somewhere else for now. How about Marco? Do you think you could try to explain the differences between those two sentences? She forgot to kiss me when she left, and she forgot kissing me when she left? Any ideas on that, Marco? You're muted, Marco. All right, maybe he's not.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
So try to help us explain those sentences that Daniel gave us in the chat box. She forgot to kiss me when she left, and she forgot kissing me when she left. Any ideas on that, Marco?
I don't know.
So one of those sentences, the person got a kiss, and another sentence, the person did not get a kiss. Does anyone know which is which? Okay, so the first one, the person did not get a kiss. We'll pretend that I am the person. So if she forgot to kiss me when she left, it means I did not get a kiss. She left without giving a kiss. In the second sentence, she forgot kissing me when she left, means that she kissed me, but then maybe in the car on the way to work or whatever, she thought, oh, I think I forgot to kiss Michaela goodbye. I didn't do it. But she did do it, but she just forgot that she did it.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have I have forgotten to close the door. I have forgotten closing the door. Cornea, would you like to attempt explaining the difference between those two sentences?
I think the second one is not appropriate grammatically. I'm thinking of repair it.
No, I think they're okay. I don't see anything wrong with them.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah, they're good sentences. So tell us the difference between them.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So explain to us what the difference is between your first sentence and your second sentence in meaning. What's the meaning difference? Any ideas, Cornea?
Not yet.
Okay, so this one is the same as the other ones we've seen. Saying, I have forgotten to close the door means that you didn't close the door. You forgot to do it. The second sentence, I have forgotten closing the door, would mean...
I would like to add one word for first sentence. I have just forgotten to close the door.
Okay, that works too. I have just forgotten closing the door. That means that you closed the door. Go ahead. So, I'll come up with like a context here. Pretend that you're leaving the house for vacation. And you're rushing around, you're putting everything together. Finally, you get in the car and you're on the road, maybe 5 minutes away from your house, and you start to think, did I remember to close the door or did I forget? And you can't remember if you closed the door or if you did not. So you go back to the house. You have to check, right? You go back to the house and you could say, I had forgotten closing the door. Because you did close the door, but then you forgot that you did it. So you had to come back and check. That's what the second sentence is talking about.
Yeah.
All right. And our last set for this one I forgot to learn English today. I forgot learning English in yesterday's class. Okay. Ken, do you think you could help us understand the difference between those two sentences?
First sentence means, I forgot, for example, I forgot to attend a barbering class, so I cannot learn English. And the second sentence means how can I say, I forgot the the fact of learning English in yesterday's class. I mean, for example, I forgot the content of the English class, or I
Yes.
didn't remember.
Yes.
I learned English in yesterday's class.
Excellent. Thank you. And we have one more set here. I forgot to drop the waist. I forgot playing with friends. My key in the car. Huh? Okay, so you gave us a lot
I
of
don't know if
examples
it's
here.
right.
Yeah, I think they're good, but you gave us more than one example. Let's use. When you say to drop the waste, do you mean trash?
Yeah.
Okay, let's use that one. I forgot to drop the waste, and we'll say I forgot to drop the trash off. So change the sentence a little. I forgot to drop the trash off, right? And our corresponding sentence would be I forgot dropping the trash off. Marco, do you think you could explain to us the difference between the sentence I forgot to drop the trash off and I forgot dropping the trash off?
In the first one, I never dropped the trash, and in the second, I forgot something when I was.
Okay. So which
So I did the
sentence
action in the
is
second
the
one.
trash still at your house?
In the first one.
Yes. The first one, the trash is still at your house or like in your car or something. You still have the trash because you didn't drop it off. The second
Yeah.
one, you did do it, but then you forgot about it later. You forgot about doing it. Okay. So this is still pretty tough, and it's something that we can do a lot more practice with. Let's do at least one more example, this time using the verb stop. I think the verb stop is a little bit easier to see the difference. So everyone make a simple sentence using the verb stop and follow it by both. Follow one sentence followed by an infinitive, and in the same sentence just change the verb and follow it by an infinitive. So gerund and infinitive. Excellent. We've got a set already. I stopped smoking 3 years ago. You stopped to feed the cat. Excellent. So both of those sentences make a lot of sense. Explain what happens in the first sentence.
The first sentence means to give up. I gave up smoking 6 years ago.
And what about the second one?
When you said an order, you stop to feed the cat. The cat already had already eaten this morning.
Okay. Well, it's a good sentence, but I feel like maybe there's a little bit of a difficulty with the
Okay.
way you explained it. So I'm going to explain it, and we'll see if we're on the same page here. If you say you stop to feed the cat, it means that you were doing something else, like you were working, you were reading, you were singing, and then
Okay.
you stop what you're doing and you feed the cat.
Okay.
So they're both good sentences, but the second one, when we follow it by a to infinitive, it kind of means like in order to. You stopped doing something else in order to, or for the purpose of, feeding the cat.
Okay.
All right, next set. I have just stopped the bus. I try stopping the bus every day without any success. All right, Cornea, explain your sentences to us.
Yeah, for first sentence, I just stopped the bus. I tried to stop the bus 1 minute ago. And second one, I try stopping the bus every day without any success. Uh, I am trying to stop the bus continuously, but there is no any success.
Okay, so your sentences are good, but they don't exactly use the verb stop in the way that we've been talking about for this last one. So we could change the sentences around a little bit and say something like, I stopped catching the bus and I stopped to catch the bus. Okay, so Cornea, do you think you could explain the difference between those two sentences that I just put in the chat box?
Sorry?
Can you explain the difference between the sentences that I put in the chat box? I stopped catching the bus and I stopped to catch the bus.
Yeah, okay. I read it.
So how about the first sentence? I stopped catching the bus. What does that mean?
Catch means that I have just caught the bus. Stop. I try to stop the bus. How to say in English? I don't know.
Okay, so I think you're going in the right direction. I'm going to explain them once just so we can make sure we're on the right page as well. Sentence number one, if you say I stopped catching the bus, it means that you don't take the bus anymore. It means you have a car or you take the subway, but you don't take the bus anymore. So maybe you used to take the bus frequently, but now you stopped catching the bus and you don't take it anymore. In the second sentence, I stopped to catch the bus, it means you were drinking a beer with friends or having coffee or at work, and you stopped those actions. You stopped having coffee, you stopped drinking beer, you stopped working, and you went to the bus stop because you need to catch the bus. Got it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Next set, he stopped to smoke. He doesn't stop wanting for smoking. Okay. Let's make the second sentence simpler and just compare the two sentences. He stopped to smoke and he stopped smoking. Can you compare those, Ken?
He stopped to smoke and he stopped smoking. He stopped to smoke means stopped the action of smoking, and he stopped smoking. I don't know the second sentence.
Okay.
Stop smoking.
So the first one we can pretend like it says in order to. He stopped in order to smoke.
Stop something in order to
Yeah.
smoke. Okay.
Right. Exactly. So then the second sentence was what you were describing before, right?
Yeah, kind of stop action of smoking.
Yeah, exactly. So with the ing, we're talking about the action. He stopped the action of
Yeah,
smoking
I see.
versus he stopped in order to smoke. He stopped singing in order to smoke.
So
Okay.
he stopped to smoke in order to singing. Maybe that's the first sentence.
The first sentence means he was like singing and then he stopped doing that singing action and then picked up a cigarette.
I see. Okay.
All right. And then the second one is he stopped smoking means that he used to smoke a lot. He would do it every day and now he doesn't.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any last minute questions before we finish class up today? Unfortunately, we're out of time for much more. This is a tough topic. If you guys still have questions, you're welcome to message me on Facebook. I already gave my name at the very top of the chat box. And if not, you can ask me on my Verbling inbox or schedule a tutor session if you want more time talking about this topic. And thank you all for coming today and participating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye,
Have a
guys.
nice day to everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.